Verse 6. So these governors and satraps thronged before the king and said thus to him, King Darius, live forever. We see here the hypocrisy that was in the Pharisees was also in these governors. They are the same kind of people. They have the same spirit. In the case of Yahushua came as the Kohen Gadol, so he dealt with the Pharisees, the priests, the Kohanim. Now the last comes as the Melech, so he has to deal with the kings, meaning as in it is being shown here, the governors were the ones that wanted to have him killed. In this time, those who govern the world, like Illuminati, the powers that be, they will hate the two witnesses because they are a manifestation of the one that they hate, the Almighty, the Creator. So they will try to get rid of them by influencing the masses to be against them. So, the governors and satraps thronged before the king and said thus to him, King Darius, live forever. So we see the hypocrisy because the king was wise. Reason why he gave that place to Daniel. While the king remains wise and makes wise decisions, the kingdom will do good. And everybody within it will find happiness pretty much. Yet these people were only thinking about the envy, the jealousy that they had of Daniel because of his spirit, because of how Yahweh used him and everything that he had received in Babylon and now in Persia. So they want to just destroy him because pretty much he's better than them. Instead of them fixing their actions, their deeds in order to be like him. No, but they don't want to change pretty much like society nowadays. They don't want to see their own mistakes. They don't want to get better. They just want to accuse the one that shows their sin as in a mirror because of the spirit within him, which is what the two witnesses will do by teaching the true doctrine that will show how wrong the world is. But they will hate that, so they will get rid of them, thinking that that will take away pretty much that thought or the conscience of what they know they have done. So that shows hypocrisy because they come to the king and say, King Darius, live forever. They don't care about that. They just care about themselves. They are coming here, well, to the kingdom, to the king, to pretty much make him destroy Daniel, which is his best advisor. So that is a wrong against themselves, which they cannot see because they are blind, of course, because of their envy and other things. So they are so hypocrite to come to the king whom they want to pretty much affect and tell him live forever. And then they say, all the governors of the kingdom, the administrators and satraps, the counselors and advisors have consulted together. So they added everybody in the mix, just like when the Pharisees said, to the whole nation to ask for the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. And then they said that his blood should fall on them and their children. So, just like here, all the governors of the kingdom, the administrators and satraps, the counselors and advisors have consulted together to establish a royal statute and to make a firm decree that whoever petitions any Elohim or man for 30 days, except you, O king, shall be cast into the den of lions. So, since they knew that Daniel was a good citizen and he fulfilled both laws, that of his mighty one and that of the kingdom, then they decided to find something to accuse him by making a decree in which people could not worship their own Elohim. They could not, like nowadays, go to congregate, for instance. So there was a decree pretty much like nowadays, not the same, of course, because, we are in a way virtually gathering, and because if you are a small congregation, well, I guess you can gather at home. But there are certain places where if they find out, they will go and put a fee and, pretty much punish those who congregate But like I have been saying, which is amazing, but if you're going to protest and there are 100 people, it doesn't matter. To them, that is allowed. Yet you cannot gather if you are more than 20 people in a congregation. So that shows how Satan is working in pretty much the same way, just using different methods. In this case, the fear of people, which is going to make the whole thing worse than it has been. That's why this is the end. Because right now, the enemy is going to use all the things that have worked in the past. Let's say the Pharaoh made 10 mistakes but did 3 things that actually worked. So Satan will use those 3 things and avoid those other 10. Then he goes and sees what Nebuchadnezzar did. He will use whatever he did that worked, etc., etc., with Hitler and all of that. So they are actually using a lot of what Hitler did right now, but in reverse, like reverse psychology. So they are making people, through the fear of germs, start to think like Hitler used to. And I know that is maybe something big to say, but then you can go and research a little bit about how Hitler was regarding germs and how that took him to see other people pretty much as germs. So that's pretty much like what is happening, but I repeat, in reverse psychology. So people are not seeing that they are becoming, because of their ideas that the media is placing in their hearts and minds, they are starting to act and think pretty much the same way that led to what they call the Third Reich. Well, what they were trying to establish.